Semiconductor is an unusual technology. By making things smaller, everything gets better at the same time. The transistors get faster, the reliability goes up, the cost goes down. It's a unique violation of Murphy's Law. I was asked by Electronics magazine to predict what was going to happen in electronic components in the next 10 years. I looked at what we had been doing, and we were making integrated circuits with increasing complexity, but not very complex. The first ones had about 4 components on it. A year later, 8. And I plotted this out, and I thought, geez, from the introduction of the first planar transistor in 1959, the complexity on a chip had about doubled every year, and it was getting up towards 60 when I looked at it in 1965. And I wanted to predict that this was going to be the way to make electronics inexpensively, which was not generally acknowledged at that time. So I took this doubling every year and extrapolated it 10 years, from 1965 to 1975, from 60 components to 60,000 components on a chip. A pretty wild extrapolation. And it turned out to be ridiculously accurate. One of my colleagues called this Moore's Law. Rather than just being something that chronicles the progress of the industry, it kind of became something that drove the progress of the industry. A tremendous amount of engineering and commitment has been required to make that happen, but much to my surprise, the industry has been able to keep up with the projection. By this time, lithography had become ubiquitous. It was a technology that all modern semiconductor devices required. You know, we're using features that are much smaller than the wavelengths of the light we're using, which kind of violates somebody's law. I'm amazed that we can make the things we make now with the wavelengths we're dealing with. There's been predictions of the end of Moore's Law for the last 30 years, I think. And looking at the technology, I can understand why. I could never see beyond the next couple of generations. You could see where it was going, and then it looked like there was an abrupt stop. I thought at one time that we'd stop at about a micron. Well, we've gone to 1/10 of a micron and 1/100th of a micron, 100 times smaller than I thought was going to be the end of things. And there have been a variety of potential barriers like that looking out a couple of generations look formidable. But as we approached them, enough engineering had been put in place to eliminate the barrier and get around it. ASML has made considerable progress during their 30 years of existence. The equipment they make today is key to the continual progress of Moore's Law or equivalent. What they have done so far is background for what's going to happen in the future, but continuing to learn and evolve the capability of the instruments is going to require great creativity and attention to detail. Good luck. I'm Gordon Moore, co-founder of Intel Corporation.